friends, welcome to day 3 of the 14 Days of Crafty Love 2026 series, and today we are going to create a Valentine's Day card. And I've already created my sample, and each of my card bases is just a little bit different size. I just had some of this paper scrap and I wanted to use this to try to make 2 card bases, so they're slightly different sizes. I've got some white glitter cardstock, some pattern paper, my envelope, this script paper here. I've also did some stitching on here. As you can see, my sewing machine's being a little wonky, so I need to work on that. And then I have some twine, some gold thread, and some gems. So I haven't completed the inside of this one yet, but let's make one together. So for my envelope, I just used my mini envelope punch board from We Are Memory Keepers, and you can make your envelope any size you would like based on your card base. So for the one we are going to create, the envelope is slightly bigger because my card base is slightly bigger. Then for this mat piece, I just cut the edges using these kind of scalloped scissors. I want it to kind of resemble a postage stamp. And so I just did that. This one I went ahead and inked with my distressed inks in the vintage photo. Stitch this again. Then I have my scrap of gold. This is a really chunky gold, and this was the size that I had, and it doesn't quite work as a mat, but you can see it peeking just a little bit through. So I'm going to go ahead and use it and just kind of let it peek through the little scallop edges, just so you have a little bit of gold peeking through. And then I have my inside piece already cut and matted as well. All of my papers are from Creative Fabrica. I just printed them with my printer and went to town using them. I will make sure to leave Creative Fabrica linked down below. Aside from this, I've got some twine, some gold thread. I have my adhesive of choice, foam tape, some clear gems, and then some sentiments. So let's go ahead and get started. So I'm going to start by adding my gold piece down first. And we're going to try to center this. And then before we lay this down, I want to go ahead and add my twine like I did on this one. So I'm just going to pull some of the twine out. And then I like to leave a little tail on this side. And then I just wrap it around 3 times, leave an extra tail there, and we'll trim. And then after I do that, I go back in to about the middle, and then I'll just add a line of my adhesive. And then I will start wrapping the twine around. And I think I'm going to wrap this one twice. I don't really have enough to wrap it 3 times. And then I need to decide where my envelope's going to go. So let's see. Let's actually... yeah, let's do it on the same side as the other one. So we're going to bring this over. And you could tie a bow. I'm just going to tie a double knot in here and then kind of pull it snug, but you don't want to peel the paper back or make the paper curve. And then let's just trim the ends and clean this one up. All right, and then we're going to lay this down. And I'm going to do my best to kind of put this where you have a little bit of that gold showing. All right, and then we are going to add our little envelope. And I do want to put my little paper in here where it will stay. So I'm going to take and add a little adhesive right on the middle. And then we're going to add this sort of at an angle in our envelope, like so. And then I used my foam tape to pop this up in a couple areas because we do have that twine. And we're just going to do that and add our envelope down. These cards are super simple, and most all of the papers were scraps except the script. And as you can see, the larger envelope does change the card somewhat. And I'm kind of feeling like this piece is just a little bit too big. Let's see if I can peel that up now that I added that. Let's add it down a little bit more like so. Okay, yeah, like that better. Now, let's grab some of these gems. And I've been into doing like a cluster of 3 recently. So we're going to do a little cluster of 3. And then we'll do one here. And maybe one there. And then let's find a sentiment. This is a little bit bigger of an envelope. I think let's do all you need is love. And I'm going to add a little bit of gold thread behind that. So I'm just going to wrap that around 2 fingers a couple of times. And then I'm just going to place that right in the center. And then I'll work on these edges here that need to kind of be laid on the sticker. And I don't mind if it's a little wonky, like there's a little loop there. And then I'm just going to go back in with my AdTech just to add a little bit more adhesive. You could pop this up if you wanted as well. But I like this. Like it flat with a little bit of texture with the gold thread. And then let's add our piece in the inside, which is just about as big as this card. So you have a lot of room to write a message to your crafty friend or your Valentine. So I'm going to lay this in right up against the part where you fold, and then you're just going to have a little bit of border on all 3 sides. And we are done. Super simple and really easy to create. And you have yourself a fun and easy card for Valentine's Day. So thank you guys so much for stopping by and creating this card with me. If you have any questions, please leave me a comment down below. And if you enjoyed this video, I'd love for you to give it a like. And if you're not following me, I'd love for you to subscribe if you're interested in this kind of content. Tomorrow for day 4, we are going to recreate one of my top 14 Days of Crafty Love videos. And we are going to recreate my circle punch pocket. So make sure you stay tuned for tomorrow's video. Have a wonderful day, guys. Bye.